A poisonous plant, a food safety crackdown, and three of India's biggest online grocery platforms now facing regulatory action. Karnataka has suspended the food licenses of Amazon, Swiggy Instamart and Big Basket after Datura fruits and seeds were found listed on their platforms for human consumption. The state has also moved against suppliers and sellers linked to these online platforms. Hello and welcome to NewsX Deepdive. I'm Shivani Singh, and today we look at Karnataka's major crackdown on food delivery apps over the sale of Datura, a highly toxic plant. We explain what happened, why three companies have lost their food licenses, how the viral social media story resurfaced, and most importantly, why Datura can be so dangerous. Well, the Karnataka State Food Safety and Drugs Administration has directed authorities to suspend the food licenses of Amazon, Swiggy Instamart and Big Basket until further orders. The action follows complaints about Datura being sold online and an investigation by the food safety authorities into the listings. The regulator found Datura fruits and seeds being displayed for sale on online platforms. And in some cases, these projects and products were associated with FSSAI license or registration numbers. The issue for the authority was not simply that Datura was available online. The core issue was that a poisonous plant and its seeds were being offered as products for human consumption. The Karnataka Food Safety Department has made it clear that storing, selling or distributing Datura food as food is impermissible. Well, the department has now also ordered all concerned food business operators to immediately remove online listings, advertisements and promotional material connected to Datura fruits and seeds when they are intended for food or human consumption. The suspension also extends to the licenses or registrations of suppliers and sellers providing these products to the platforms. And then there is an important distinction here. The government has not announced that Amazon, Swiggy Instamart or Big Basket have been permanently shut down. The food license suspensions are until further orders, and the companies have an opportunity to respond, submit compliance reports and appear for a hearing. So this is a regulatory action, not necessarily a final cancellation of their operations. But it sends a very strong message about the responsibility of online food and grocery platforms. Now, there is another element to this story that has drawn attention online. A video involving a Bengaluru woman has resurfaced amid this entire current Datura controversy. The video is being shared again on social media in the context of the Karnataka crackdown. The claim attributed to the video is that Datura was received as a kind of a freebie along with a Swiggy order, and that claim has now become part of the online discussion around how Datura products could end up in the consumer supply chain. But there is an important caution here. The resurfaced video and social media claims should not be treated as independent proof that Swiggy deliberately distributed a poisonous plant as a free gift. The current Karnataka regulatory action is specifically based on the discovery of Datura fruits and seeds being listed and offered as food products on online platforms. Well, in other words, the viral video is part of the larger conversation, but the official case is about online listings, food license suppliers, storage, distribution and consumer safety. And that distinction matters when we are talking about a potentially poisonous substance. But why Datura? Why has this particular plant triggered such a strong response from Karnataka authorities? To understand that, we need to take a look at the plant itself. Datura is a plant commonly known in English as thorn apple. In different parts of India, it has different names, including Umethapuvu in Telugu and Umathai in Tamil. It belongs to the nightshade family and has a long history of medicinal and cultural use. but that does not make it safe to eat. The food safety warning from Karnataka is very clear. The Datura plant has toxic properties and consumption of its fruits or seeds may cause serious adverse effects on human health. So what does that mean for a person who accidentally consumes it? Well, the effects can begin within hours. Symptoms include dry mouth, blurred vision, dilated pupils, a rapid heartbeat, agitation, confusion, disorientation, and even hallucinations. More severe poisoning can lead to seizures, coma, and in extreme cases, death. This is why the word poisonous is not being used casually in this story. And there is another problem. The amount of toxic compounds can vary, which makes experimenting with Datura particularly dangerous. This is not a case where someone can simply assume that a small amount is safe. And this warning is not only theoretical. Earlier this year, a family in Kakinada, Andhra Pradesh, fell seriously ill after eating dal prepared with Datura flowers. According to reports, the family had got the idea from a viral Instagram video. They prepared a dal dish using Datura flowers when their in-laws were visiting. Around 4 hours later, after the meal, the family members fell ill and were taken to the hospital. First to the area hospital at Pedapuram and later to the government hospital in Kakinada. The incident shows how online information can turn a poisoning risk into a food safety threat. A plant may look harmless, while a video can make a dangerous recipe seem safe. That's why Karnataka's action is also about digital commerce, how quickly online products can reach consumers' homes. Think about the old food supply model. A consumer would walk into a shop, see a product and make a choice. Now with quick commerce platforms, that entire process can happen through a phone in minutes. That speed makes consumer safety checks even more important, because the question is no longer just what is the seller stocking. The question is, what is the platform allowing to be listed, classified, advertised and delivered as food? Well, this raises a much larger question for India's rapidly growing quick commerce industry. How do platforms verify thousands or even millions of products being offered through their systems? And who is accountable when a product that should never have been sold as food reaches the consumer? Well, another important thing to note here is that Datura has been associated with traditional and medicinal uses. Some of its compounds, such as atropine and scopolamine, have medicinal applications, but that does not mean that the raw plant, fruit or seeds are safe to eat at home. This is an important distinction. Medicines are used in controlled formulations and doses. A raw toxic plant is something entirely different. And this is exactly why the Karnataka government has ordered immediate compliance. Datura listings, advertisements and promotional material intended for food or human consumption must be removed. And the suppliers and sellers involved are also facing regulatory action. Let's take this discussion forward with Dr. P.S. Venkatesh Rao. He's a senior doctor and he's joining us on this broadcast to discuss the seriousness of this particular issue. Thank you so much, Doctor, for taking out your time and for speaking to NewsX. I want to understand from you, we have listed out the problems, we've listed out the challenges also that come with it. How dangerous can selling Datura online or even listing it as a food product for human consumption be, sir?
Good evening. Datura is an out and out poisonous plant. Its seeds and fruits are known to be poisonous and would be of interest only to some fan of Agatha Christie novel interested in poisoning someone. There is absolutely no place for it to be sold as such. I am aware that Datura was used whose leaves would be smoked, sometimes for respiratory problems in Ayurveda. and whose leaves would be used, extracts would be used in oils for body pain, etc. But there is absolutely no question. It is the Datura leaves, those who dried Datura leaves which were used for this purpose. I am absolutely not aware of Datura otherwise being used except to kill someone. Datura has absolutely no question about anyone selling Datura as such. The leaves were taken and dried, and certain extracts for use. So, if I am really stunned how this can happen, and I think it is high time that not only the Food Administration but also the Drug Administration checks into what all is being sold online. Just like you can't be having explosives and firearms being sold online, certain drugs and certain of these plant products can be very, very poisonous, dangerous, and there is absolutely no question of these being sold. I am really stunned. Someone obviously complained, and then the authorities woke up. It's high time the authorities got cracking, not only on poisons being sold, on other harmful items being sold, and on also check into the hygiene status of these various food products. Also, how adulterants are being sold. You can never be sure about any of these powders, like the turmeric powder or ginger powder or some masala powder you buy. Who knows what all is being added into it. This quality check is important for regulatory authorities, and any company which doesn't follow regulatory authorities, the proper safety checks and security checks, they should not be allowed to sell by Amazon or by Big Basket or any other online medium. And they better also wake up and ensure such things don't happen. Just like we are also fighting social media for all kinds of disinformation, these sites also should be very, very careful, and our regulatory authorities need to be on their toes. And I also request all customers, the moment they are aware of it, to make to make everyone else aware of it.
Absolutely.
Yes, please.
Thank you so much, Dr. Rao, with your valuable perspective and explaining to us why this is a highly dangerous trend online.